Hi, welcome to Tea Time with Lorna. I'm so glad you tuned in today or you found me on YouTube. So, welcome. This is Tea Time with Lorna. Before we get started into the show, I wanted to share my favorite tea story with you. I like to call it a New Year's story, but it's not really New Year's story, it's just a story. So, here it goes. One day, my grandma was out, and my grandpa was taking care of me. I was probably around 2.5 years old. Someone had given me a little red tea set as a gift for Christmas that year. It was one of my most favorite toys, and I played with it all the time. Grandpa was in the living room, as usual, engrossed in watching the evening news on telly, and I decided that I'd bring him a little cup of tea, which was really just water. After several cups of tea and lots of praise for such yummy teas, Grandma came home. Grandpa made her sit down and wait in the living room to watch me bringing him a cup of tea, because it was just the cutest thing. Grandma waited, and sure enough, here I came down the hallway with a cup of tea for Grandpa. And she watched him drink it, and then she said to him, as only grandmas can do, "Did it ever occur to you that the only place she can reach to get water is the toilet?" That's my tea story. So, welcome, like I said, to Tea Time with Lorna. I want to talk to you today about different types of tea. I have a picture here. This is one of my favorite. As you can see, these are the tea leaves, and the teas are all different colors. So this is just one of my favorite pictures of teas that I have hanging up in my house. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, the different types of teas. And just what they're there for and how they work and that type of stuff. So what we have, I'm going to start with the lightest tea, which is actually a white tea. Now the white tea is... it has the least amount of caffeine in it. So it's a nice drink. It has the least amount of caffeine in it. It's mostly made in China. And why is it white? It's white because the leaves are picked young. They pick the leaves very young, and they don't let them oxidize. That means the relationship that the leaves have with the oxygen that we breathe around them. So they stay white. So that's that's on one side. That's the white tea. After the white tea, we have the green tea. It's a little bit darker in color. It's a tea that's mostly drunk in Japan and China. That is not to say that they don't drink it in other countries, but it's mostly in those two countries. It has more of an astringent taste, and it's one of the tea leaves that they actually pick, I believe, mostly in the mornings. It also has low caffeine, and it's a green tea, like I said, and so you get that powdery green flavor and look to it when you see it. It's also a drink that they drink in some of the Middle Eastern countries, and they call it a gunpowder tea, which I thought was very interesting. The third tea, if you look at that picture, is a oolong tea. This is a semi-oxidized tea. It falls nicely between the white and the black tea, in that it's not as strong as the black, it's not obviously as weak in color and or flavor as the white. So it does have more caffeine than the white, but obviously less than the black tea. It's a tea that they have a lot of also in China. Again, I said it's a oolong tea. They have it in China. They also drink it a lot in Thailand and some of those other countries out there. So it's one of the popular teas out there. Again, it gets its color, its taste, and all of that from the oxidation. One of the other things that all the teas have in common is all the teas, believe it or not, even though I've only mentioned 3 of them so far, all the teas are actually made from the same tea leaf. What gives them their different color and stuff is obviously the weather and the soil that the tea plant is grown in. So that's what gives it the different colors and flavors and stuff like that. So that's why the teas look and taste different, because the tea is grown in different parts of the world. So that adds to it. And the oxidation, in other words, how long they leave the teas out, and the effect that the oxygen we breathe have on the teas. So that's why we have our different colors and tastes. So the fourth tea is our is a black tea. The black tea is most popular in the Western world, and those would be like your Earl Greys and things like that. I know in some of the other countries like China and stuff like that, they add to it and they make theirs more of a golden tea, and they kind of make it and they call it like a golden monkey tea, but it's basically still your black tea. It is in fact the most popular in the Western world, as I said, just like the oolongs are very popular in the countries like Japan and some of those other countries. I also have the poo, I don't even know how to say that word properly. It's the Puan tea. This is aged and fermented even more than the black tea. And the claims are that it has a lot of medical benefits. It has more actual caffeine than the black teas. And today I wanted to go over some of the benefits of some of the teas. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Not in the picture that I've shown is another type of tea, which is even darker and richer than the Pu'er tea. I think it's called a yerba mate tea. It's mostly from South America. It's a very popular there. It's a plant that is roasted, and you get these. It's roasted, and that gives it its rustic flavor and stuff. And it's one of the teas that they claim can be used as an appetite suppressant. I haven't tried it yet, so I really can't. I really don't know if that's true or not true, but I thought that was interesting. It's also one of the teas that's very high in vitamin C, very high in potassium and magnesium. And like I said, it's also, they claim, a great appetite suppressant. So anyone who's looking to change their eating habits, and maybe perhaps it will work for you. I've not tried it, but it doesn't mean I wouldn't try it. Again, another tea that I didn't have on that list are your herbal teas. You know what those are. Those are your teas like your strawberries or your peach, or I can't even think of raspberries and stuff like that. So those are actually 100% caffeine free. What makes them very different from all the others is that when it comes to time to making them, you really have to let them sit in that boiled water. You really have to let them sit in order for the essence of the tea to come out. So I like my herbal tea, so that's on my list of favorites. The last tea I wanted to talk about, which again is not in my list, but it's a red bush tea. Again, it's another tea that's very native to South America. It's a sweet tea. It's 100% caffeine free. The difference with this is it's more like a needle. It's not tea leaves. It's more like, I don't want to say pine needles because it's not pine, but the leaves are very needle-like. How's that? They tend to pick it only in the summer. It's a plant that grows very green, but when after you pick it and it goes through the process of oxidization, it becomes very red. Hence the name red bush tea, also known as robuca, I believe is the way to say that. Please don't tell me I've said it wrong, because these are teas that I haven't tried this one. So all of these teas that I look forward to trying in the future. And when I do, I will let everybody know all about them. So those are your basic types of teas. So give me 1 second. I want to take a sip of the tea that I'm drinking today. So today, I'm actually drinking for the first time. This is a licorice spice tea. It's caffeine free. It's a herbal tea. I'll be honest with you. I just got it today. I've never tried it before. I want to say I was surprised. I was really, really surprised. And to be fair, I was surprised in the negative. I guess the truth is, I didn't realize I don't like licorice. So this is not a match for me. Will I buy it again? No, I won't. Will I offer it to my friends and family? Yes, because maybe they'll like it. It comes in a absolutely gorgeous looking box though. It's a gorgeous box. I love the look of the box. It's wonderful looking, but like I said, apparently, unbeknownst to me, I don't like licorice. So, but I am going to enjoy the tea because I do want to appreciate that and I do love my teas. The other tea that I bought today, which I adore, said that twice, is this one. It is a pomegranate raspberry tea. I absolutely loved it. I couldn't have loved it anymore. Again, I bought the two of them today. I didn't know I was going to love it, but I do. So there you go. Loved it. It's a green tea on my list of recommendations. Highly. One of the things I liked, and I tell you this the truth, when I open these things, I think I already know which ones I'm going to like. When I open them, I have a smell, and if I like the smell, that adds to my taste. Again, this is just me. Everybody's different. You know, maybe you don't want to smell your teas. I don't know. I just know that I smell my teas, and that adds to it. So hold on. Let me finish this licorice tea. While I was out, I also decided, you know what? I don't give herbal teas enough credit. So I picked up a sampler of herbal teas, which I can't wait to get involved with. This package came with a honey vanilla. Can't wait to try that one. I like honey, I like vanilla, so that's going to be a winner. It also comes with a peppermint flavor. Peppermint, always a winner. Lemon zinger, everybody's favorite. Calamine, when you're ready for sleep. And a sleepy herbal one. That's probably the one that I'm going to sleep with tonight or have before I go to sleep tonight. That'll be the one. So those are the teas that I picked up today, and who knows how long this will last me, because I have so many teas. This will just go in the pack of teas that I have. But for sure, the licorice will not be staying very long, but the pomegranate will be. I will buy that again. So I just wanted to tell you a little story of something that happened with me and my son when he was maybe 3. So I've got a 3-year-old son. He was 3 at the time. He's not 3 anymore. Comes up to me. He knows I like tea. So already, so he was 3. Already, he set me up on this story. He says to me, Mom, would you trade me for all the tea in China? And I thought, all the tea in China? That could be potentially a lot of tea. Hear me out. I'm so busy thinking, all the tea in China, if there are 1.3 billion people in China, and if everybody in China drank 1 cup of tea, hear me out, 1 cup of tea, and I owned all that tea, right? I own the tea. And they drank 1 cup, and let's just say they paid me $1 each. Oh my goodness, I would have $1.3 billion. I would be loaded. I'm so busy thinking about how much money that was, what I'm going to buy. I'm so excited. This is a lot of tea. I failed to see my son was crying while he was tugging on my skirt. Apparently, it was a rhetorical question. I didn't realize that. I mean, let's be honest. The kid was 3 years old. I can make another kid, right? But $1.3 million, that offer is not going to come again. So, anyway, I chose the kid. So, I just wanted to share that story with you. So, back to tea. So, what are the benefits of drinking tea? Because that's why we're here. We're drinking tea. And apparently, I don't have $1.3 billion. So let's drink tea. What are the benefits? Well, let's think about that. Let's start with the white teas. So the white teas was the one that was the furthest on our picture. And, doctors are always doing research. They're always talking about what's good, what's not good, and how we can all benefit from drinking tea, changing our lives, and exercise. But I said to myself, okay, let's look at this. So your white teas, that was the one that had the least oxidization. In other words, it had less contact with oxygen. Again, says it helps with cancer prevention, improves cardiovascular disorders, acts as an antibacterial agent. Well, that sounds good. Anti-inflammatory properties. Well, nobody wants to be inflamed, do they? What else? Also, white tea, anti-aging. Well, let's be honest. None of us really want to age too quickly. So I say drink the white tea. Helps to prevent diabetes. That's a win. Helps to strengthen bones. Win, win, win. Helps with healthy teeth and gums. Stimulates the lymphatic and metabolism. Well, everybody knows those words. Metabolism, that's all they talk about when people want to lose weight. How's your metabolism? Is it fast? Is it slow? I don't know the difference. But here's what I do know. If drinking white tea is going to help, I'm all for it. Another thing I looked into, they also talked about white teas, effective helping to decrease tooth decays. Well, that's good. Again, the same with the with benefits for weight loss, reduce risk of premature aging. I think they're referring to your skin, so that's good. Aids to maintain healthy and youthful skin. Well, we all want that, don't we? Reduces cardiovascular, again, the same thing, manages diabetes, help prevent cancer, such as lung cancer. Well, there's a win-win-win to me. None of us want to have that issue. And again, protects skin against the effect of the ultraviolet light. I'm not an expert, but I say drink tea and put on your sun protection. That sounds like a win to me. Okay, so after our white teas, let's look, we're going up that scale of the 5 pictures. Let's look at our oolong teas. The oolong tea. So that also helps with weight management, promotes metabolism. We're hearing this again. Promotes healthy skin, helps with healthy bones, controls diabetes, has an anti-cancer properties, but this one has the added benefit of reducing stress, helps with stress management. So you know what that means. When you get home, somebody's driving you crazy either at work, take a minute out of your day, have a cup. Or you get home, somebody's driving you crazy, have a cup. The oolong teas are the ones I told you before. This is a great benefit. That sounds like a win to me. I like the sound of that. Anything that's going to help with stress reduction sounds like a win. The green teas, again, they have some of the similar benefits to all the others. Weight loss, cancers. Again, these all seem to be a win to me. It seems like an excellent idea for those of you who are wondering, well, which tea should I have? Sounds to me like any tea is a good tea. That was already my philosophy. This is just proving it. So look into your green teas and just try them. This pomegranate tea, like I said, was fantastic. And this is one of the green teas. So imagine having that a couple of times a week. Over the next couple of weeks as the show progresses, I'm going to look into when they say it's good for you, that's great. But does that mean 1 cup a day for the next 10 years? Or is it 2 cups a day for the next 5 years? I'm going to do some research and dig into the research and see what it actually says about the amount of tea. Because it's good to know that you can have the tea, but how much tea are we talking about? Because everybody's not like me. Everybody doesn't want 2 cups a day or 3 cups a day. Some people maybe only want 2 a week. And if they're looking for these additional health benefits and they're not going to get it because they're not drinking enough tea, well, I'm sure they'd rather know how much tea is actually the amount that's going to actually help them. Since I know the benefits of having this herbal tea, I'm definitely going to finish this licorice tea. So, to my favorite, which are the black teas. Those are your Earl Greys and stuff like that. So, the black teas help to repair coronary arteries. Those are the arteries that are in your heart that lead to the heart, lead away from the heart. So that sounds to me like an excellent idea. I don't know if they're giving them black tea in the hospital, but that sounds like that should be on the list of things to do. Also has an effect and helps you if you have intestinal disorders. Wow. I guess that means if I'm having an issue, drinking that will help calm down my intestines from whatever seems to be going on. So that sounds like a win. Extremely beneficial for asthmatic patients as it expands the air passages, thereby allowing patients to breathe more easily. Again, sounds to me like this is a definite improvement for someone. If that's what it's going to do, help to open up your airways and your lungs, that sounds fantastic. Again, helps to cure digestive disorders, lowers the risk of heart-related problems. And for those of you who don't know, just FYI, heart disease is one of the leading causes of death in America today. So if drinking these drinks is going to reduce your risk, this sounds like an easy fix. It doesn't say that it cures it. What it says is it reduces the risk. So that sounds like an easy fix. Enjoy a great hot cup of tea. Like I said, the green tea is fantastic. I'm loving it. Another thing that they've said about the black teas, especially for women, that doesn't mean men shouldn't do it either. Women who have breast cancer, it helps to prevent the carcinogen to grow in the breast. What does that mean? That's the bad cancer cells from growing and replicating in the breast tissue. Of course, we all know that men sometimes have breast cancer. So I'm not saying don't drink it. What I'm saying is everybody should be drinking it. It's especially good for women in the pre-menopausal phase. So women and men, get out there, drink your tea. Your choice is, from what I've told you, you can have your white, your green, you can have your oolongs, the blacks, your herbal tea, and even the red teas that I said that were from South Africa. They sound like a fabulous choice to me. So now we've decided those are some of the benefits of your teas. But really, now that you've got your teas, you went to your store, you picked one up, whichever one you want. How long do you brew them for? Last week, somebody said she put the tea bag into some boiling water. She took it out after 5 seconds. And I'm like, what did your drink taste like? She said, water. And I said, because you don't put it in and pull it out. You've got to let the tea brew. You've got to let it percolate. You've got to let the essence of the tea come out. You've got to let it come out of the tea bag. Otherwise, you put it in, you took it out. That was a waste. You're drinking water. Anyway, so what I've got here is some times for these teas. So you have all these teas. And what are the times that they need? Each tea needs its own time. They have different times for brewing, and each tea needs a different temperature. What you can see is it's based again on which type of tea you have as to how long each tea needs and what the brewing temperature should be. So again, we've got our white tea. It needs to be really hot. We're talking about 150 Fahrenheit. So boil that kettle. Boil your kettle and don't touch it. Wait for it to boil. Let it go. Then once you've got that white tea bag, you only need to put it in for about 1 minute to 2 minutes. That's it. That's all you need. So we're going now to one of the yellow teas, which are your lighter color teas. So it's between the greens, because there are some teas that are slightly in between. This needs to be a little bit hotter. Make that kettle boil, and you can buy a thermometer and test your water and see how hot it is, so you know if you've got it at the perfect temperature. The yellow teas need about 1 to 2 minutes also. So that means literally putting the tea bag in the water and leaving it alone. Okay, great. Your green teas, they need about 165, 67, all the way up to 176 degrees Fahrenheit for optimum brewing. And I'm talking about so that the flavor, so you feel and taste the flavor. That's 1 to 2 minutes. That's all. Then you've got your oolongs. That needs about 176 to 185 in temperature. And that needs about 2 to 3 minutes to get the richness of the flavor out of that tea. Then we have our blacks. The black tea, we need it to be hot for our black tea. 210, 200 degrees, get it in there. This tea bag needs about 2 to 3 minutes. I personally leave mine a little bit longer than that. Obviously, the thing is, when you have the tea bag longer, the tea becomes stronger. I think that goes without saying. So that's your black teas. Then, of course, finally, you have your herbal teas. Herbal teas, you have around about the same temperature as the black teas, but these herbal teas, you need to leave them. They need to sit in there and marinate in that water for the flavor to come out. I know what I'm saying. I said 3 to 6 minutes, but you can leave them as long as 7, and that's going to be a great cup of tea. I know for myself, I let the pomegranate sit for about 7 minutes, and when I finally had it, it was absolutely fantastic. One of the best cup of teas I've had from the herbal line in ages. As I said, it's a green tea. I just told you about all the wonderful benefits of green tea. So run along, go and buy yourself a cup. You won't regret it. The herbal teas like the licorice, again, if you don't like licorice, you'll be surprised at the taste. It's not going to be one that's going to make you happy. And then any of the other fruity teas that I told you, all of them are going to need about 7 minutes to brew. So that is my show for today. Just wanted to share with you about the different types of tea that are out there. Feel free to do your own research. Feel free to make comments if you want. Now that you've subscribed to the YouTube channel, make your comments. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good day. Bye.